Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. In this video, we're going to continue the topic of the 4 realms of Gaia and opening to magic. This is a topic that Abe wants to talk about during the month of March. We're going to expand more and more upon it. Not sure how long it's going to go for, but for now I know it's going to go for the month of March. We're going to post here on YouTube and dive even further in our videos on Patreon. If you haven't yet watched part 1 of this 4 realms of Gaia and opening up to magic series, go ahead and watch part 1 first before watching this video. If you're interested in joining our Patreon little soul group community, I'm going to put a link to our Patreon page below. Over there, we are going to be diving deeper into topics that we talk about here on YouTube. We are also posting more frequently there, updates and readings. And just, it's a great place for us to work more closely with you for those of you who are ready to dive deeper into retrieving your inner lost knowledge and connecting to your higher vibrational oneness aspects. Again, I'm going to post a link to both Patreon and Facebook below because both are great communities and where you can dive deeper into the topics we talk about here on YouTube. So in our last video, we kind of had an introduction to the 12 upper and lower realms of Gaia. This video series is about the 4 realms of Gaia because Abe said that they wanted to talk first about the first 4 upper realms of Gaia. Even though there's so many more, right now they want to open the first 4 realms of Gaia within you, whoever is meant to be listening to these messages, in order to help open the energy of the first 4 realms of Gaia onto the planet through your own physical hearts. So even though there are many other realms of Gaia, we're just going to be talking about the first 4 in this video series. We may open up more later on, who knows? But again, I'm just going along for the ride and seeing what comes through. In this video, we're going to start talking about Avalon. Avalon was actually the first thing that really opened this topic up. And so I know it holds some importance in terms of why Avalon is coming forward. I haven't really done any research about Avalon. I don't really know what it is. I just know that it's been coming into my awareness for quite some time now. And now I guess it's time to finally open up this knowledge of Avalon. So, in this video, we'll bring forward what needs to come through right now regarding Avalon. The information in this video came through first in writing, so I'm going to put the transcript of this video on my blog. I'll put a link in the description below that will take you to where you can read along with this video. Okay, so let's get right into it. What came through was that central to opening up knowledge of the realms of Gaia is opening up knowledge of the land of Avalon. I asked why, and what came through was because Avalon serves as a sort of gateway to opening up into the other realms. Avalon holds the doorways to the other higher realms. To get to Avalon, you must travel through the long hallways of the Akashic records. You open up knowledge within, so accessing your own inner Akashic records opens up the doors for you to travel not through the realms as you are currently, but through the energy of the realms of that which you hold in your own inner database or your own inner Akashic records. You travel through your own inner library and you open up books, you open up these fairy tales. The books that you hold may not align to the books that other people hold from the very same fairy tale or the very same realm. They may all be different, but that's because you have each had many different experiences and perspectives, many different storylines happening in the same realm. It's time to share your stories, no matter how different, and create the ultimate book of oneness. I then asked, have we all had past lives or incarnations in these realms? Is this how we can access the knowledge of the realms through our own Akashic records? And what came through was yes and no. Some people open the knowledge of the realms from the greater Akashic records stored in the Great Central Sun, which holds knowledge of everything in the universe. But others can access the inner database or library or inner soul memory, that inner Akashic records pertaining to your own soul's memory, as well as the greater Akashic records stored in the Great Central Sun. I mean, they're all connected. They said that the realms are very open right now. I asked, why can't we just travel through the realms like right now? Do you advise that we only access the realms through the Akashic records, through the memory? And what came through was that traveling through the realms in your current state can be tricky. This is why we advise that you travel through the Akashic records. The Akashic will take you through records of the realms as they have happened. Moments in time, yes, but more so the greater time loops. You will open the open energy of the higher realms onto your planet just by opening through the Akashic. They go on to say that opening into the realms as they exist now opens the higher realms at a lower vibration. They said opening the realms through the Akashic opens the higher vibrational realms, the higher 12 realms, at a higher vibration before the realms dropped in vibration following the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. So we're going to speak all about this. They're kind of talking more about what we're going to be talking about in terms of how when Atlantis and Lemuria fell, and Gaia also fell in vibration, dimensions, density, the energetic bodies of Gaia also fell in vibration, energy, etc. So they're making the connection that if we access the realms through our Akashic, we're going to be accessing the higher vibrational realms from when they were before the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, versus if we were to access the realms right now, the realms are of lower vibration because the realms also fell in vibration following the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. So we're going to talk all about that in terms of Avalon and its connection to Atlantis in today's video. They go on to say that Avalon was a place on your planet that existed after Atlantis. It existed in the green rolling hills of what is now called the area of Ireland and the UK. It could be even more. I saw it more as this landmass of where Ireland and the UK is currently. They go on to say that heart-based land opened its doors to these mind-based Atlanteans fleeing the fall of Atlantis. Avalon was located north of Atlantis, across the ocean waterway. In the green rolling hills of Avalon existed a civilization who opened their arms to these lost Atlanteans. Avalon opened after the flooding in Atlantis. They go on to say that after the flooding and the fall of Atlantis, the earth lowered in vibration, lowered in density, lowered in dimension. If you want to learn more about the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria in terms of what came through, my own inner lost knowledge, and Abe, we talk about a lot of it in our past videos. Specifically, we have an inner lost knowledge series that you can look at, and a few other videos because we talk about it often. Okay, so continuing, they said, after the flooding of the fall of Atlantis, the earth lowered in vibration, lowered in density, and lowered in dimension. Avalon was a civilization that existed not in the same realm as Atlantis. However, following the fall of Atlantis, lost Atlanteans opened into the lower dimension and opened into the realm of Avalon. Avalon existed in an open energetic space upon Gaia, a lower realm or lower, what you would call layer of Gaia's many energetic bodies. Avalon opened into the awareness of the lost Atlanteans following the fall because they sort of slipped into the space and time of Avalon as the dimensions blurred, as they fell from their higher dimension into a lower dimension. I asked, okay, so where exactly did Avalon exist? I wanted them to clarify. And what came through was that Avalon existed in between dimensions. Some would say that it existed in between worlds. There are many realms on your planet that do not exist in a specific dimension or encapsulated in a specific time and space. There are 12 realms on Gaia, energetic realms that exist in between your dimensions. They are open energy, taking form on your planet to experience, but not in the confines of your 3D physical planet. So, many rules of a 3D physical planet or experience do not apply to these realms. Avalon exists, and what came through was exists, so I was like, kind of stopped them and I said, exists, or do you mean existed? They said exists, as everything exists in the now moment. They go on to say that realms on Gaia are distinguished by frequency. I asked just to kind of clarify in terms of where we are as a collective. I asked, does our collective exist in one of these realms? And what came through was yes and no. The 3D Earth experience exists on the plane of Gaia, meaning that you are existing on the dimension that Gaia herself is existing upon. The realms do not exist in a dimension, but in between the dimensions. So as your ascension moves from 3rd dimension into the 5th, you are passing through many in-between realms on your way there. These realms will make themselves visible to many of you, but you have to be able to match the frequency of the realm to be able to perceive it. I asked them, can you talk more about the realm frequencies? And what came through is yes. Much like your emotional vibration, realms exist in different vibrational frequencies. The beings of the realms came to Gaia to have a physical experience within one or more of these vibrational frequencies. I asked, do these realms blend together or are they completely separate, meaning that they cannot even perceive each other? And what came through was many blend together, but some are further apart in frequency, so they do not vibrationally match to coexist next to each other. But your visions of Once Upon a Time, the ABC TV show, if any of you have seen that, are much like the different realms of Gaia. Because it was at that moment that they showed me a vision of that TV show. And so basically, for those of you who haven't seen the TV show Once Upon a Time, what happens in the show is there are different storybooks basically blended together into one fairy tale realm. And all of these storybooks exist side by side. So it's like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, Frozen, like every single basically story tale that you can imagine all existed in this one fairy tale realm. What we would see as different stories, completely different realities in this TV show, they're all basically in the same realm and they overlap with each other. So they're saying that it's kind of like that in terms of the realms being different frequencies, but existing, blending together is what I'm assuming. They go on to say that some of the higher vibrational so-called characters in the realms of Gaia will lower their vibration if needed in the lower realms. Many of those existing in these higher vibrational realms are lowering their vibration during this time to help assist Gaia in her great shift from 3D into 5D. They said, "We have brought your attention to the dragons and unicorns and fairies, all high vibrational beings not in open energy of the lower vibrational realms, but they have opened into the lower vibrational realms in order to assist Gaia and the living beings on her planet during this time. They said Avalon is working in this same way. I asked, do these different realms exist in higher vibrational frequencies than where we are on Earth? And what came through was yes. Central to an energetic upkeep of these realms is a strong energetic woven system on the physical incarnation of Gaia. In your case, it is the 3D physical beings living on the planet. Think of these different realms as the different energetic bodies close to a physical human being. The energetic bodies of a physical human being cannot exist if the human does not exist. You are each a micro and a macro of something greater and something smaller. These realms we speak of exist within the many energetic bodies of Gaia. You as a 3D collective exist on her physical body. These otherworldly realms exist within her energetic body. I asked, would you consider the underworld within one of these realms? And what came through is yes, the underworld actually exists right on top of the very outermost layer of the energetic realms. I asked, but isn't the underworld a lower vibrational realm? And what came through is yes, in your hindered views of the underworld exists a lower vibrational realm. But in what we would call our energetic reality, what you would call underworld on your planet is actually a very high vibrational realm, a realm that connects the living with the unliving. The underworld is not where Satan dwells. That is central to your own 3D hindered views and perceptions of the underworld. Satan dwells in the higher vibrations and is not the Borg that you have made what you would say him out to be. The underworld is a passageway of sorts that connects the unliving to other warped channels or vortexes to where they need to go next. The other realms that exist within the energetic bodies of Gaia exist in frequencies underneath the underworld, so to speak. So we say that the term underworld should really be renamed into the term overworld, in our opinion. I said, okay, let's talk more about Avalon. And what came through is yes. Avalon exists in a realm very close to Earth 3D. They walk the fine line between physical and realm. The rolling hills of Avalon take you back to what you would refer to as the medieval times on your planet's history. I asked, is Avalon a specific place or just a general term for a realm? And what came through is that Avalon is a specific place that exists in the realm beneath your physical planet. I said, you say beneath. And they said, yes, because Gaia's energy comes from within. As within, so without. This is why your perception of the underworld also goes inward, into the very depths of Gaia's core, what you would call hell. But energy is just that, energy. It goes within and without. It is sort of manipulated by the physical embodiment of Gaia, which is what you would call manipulated by the physical living incarnations on and within her. You, as a collective, manipulate the energy bodies of Gaia, therefore also manipulating the energetic realms that exist within these energy bodies. You, as a collective, have also created what you would call hell, a lower vibrational underworld, in your attention to duality. I kind of went off topic because, when things start coming in, I want to dive deeper into things that I don't understand or, if I want clarification on stuff. So we started moving a little bit away from Avalon, but we'll come back to it and talk more about it probably in the next video too. So I asked them, but I thought that God or Source created this lower vibrational underworld, such as angels falling and that whole storyline. And what came through was yes, God or Source created your ability to perceive it. God did not create the place. God only created your ability to perceive it through your world of duality. You, as a collective, in your dualistic mindset, created the underworld, fallen angels, and what you would call hell. I asked, so what was the purpose of the fallen angels? And what came through was not fallen angels, but fallen childlike within each of you. Each incarnation on Earth had a fallen childlike after duality was opened on your planet. Angels do not fall. You have perceived the fallen childlike as fallen angels because the fallen childlike is the fallen purest form within you. Opened duality opened the fall of the childlike within the incarnations to follow. In the childlike within connects you back to Source and your higher oneness aspects, your souls, your greater being of who you truly are. Fallen angels, however, were manifested in your fallen, lower vibrational thoughts on your planet, just as you have manifested in your minds a self-created hell. But these manifestations are strictly held within the confines of your physical planet, as they were born within the confines of your physical minds. They do not exist outside of your physical planet. I asked, but higher vibrational realms do exist outside of the planet? And what came through was yes, because they open up straight into Source. I asked, then how do these realms merge together if some realms are real and others are a manifestation of our thoughts? And what came through was that they don't. Their vibrational frequencies keep them apart. I asked, but I hear of darkness opening up into these higher realms. So what came to me was, for example, in that TV show on ABC, Once Upon a Time, there's this dark cloud that sort of sweeps over the entire fairy tale realm, if you will, and puts all of the characters in the realm into this lower vibrational place. And what came through was, yes, this is not because of the lower realms raising their vibration, but this occurs because the higher realms have to lower their vibration to meet Gaia in a place where they can assist her. The lower realms have sort of infiltrated the higher realms, so to speak, because they came into more of a frequency match, because the higher vibrational realms had to lower their vibration. So I asked, so are the higher realms in danger? And what came through was no, but they will eventually need to be integrated back with their higher vibrational frequencies. We are bringing forward information about the different realms because central to Gaia's great shift is the assistance of the many different realms. This is the energy of Gaia on a micro scale, opening up into the macro energetic scale, meaning the energy within the many different layers of Gaia's energy fields opening into the greater open energy needed for the shift. They said, for example, think of your own physical bodies. They are no different from Gaia. You have very many different layers within your energetic field. You have layers closer to you and layers farther from you. You also have very many layers within you. When these many different realms open into the greater energy of Gaia, it's like having the open energy within you or within any of your energetic bodies open into your physical reality in order to help assist you. So if, for example, you held the energy of a bear in your energetic field, that bear or the energy of that bear would manifest in your physical reality to help you. In order to do this, the bear has to lower its frequency and vibration from where it existed in your energy field to where it can now exist and be perceived by you in your physical reality. However, when in your physical reality, the bear can help you, yes, but it is still out of its energetic element. It will eventually need to return back to its energetic vibrational frequency within your energy field if it wants to continue to survive and continue its experience. But by the power of Source, it has been granted this opportunity to serve you during this time because there is a greater purpose that it is working towards to help you with. These energetic realms of Gaia are making themselves known to you in your awareness to open you up to receiving their assistance during this great shift of Gaia. But in return, they require you to help them to return back to their own energetic frequencies when the shift is over. Remember, the energy bodies within and without Gaia are determined and manipulated through the physical incarnations and the physical body on Gaia, because as your physical body, you determine and manipulate your energetic bodies. So when you make this great shift, these energetic realms who have lowered in vibration to help assist Gaia during this time will need your assistance once it's done. As a collective, you must be able to raise your vibration and frequency to match the higher vibrations of 5D. This will help open Gaia's energy bodies more and restore the different realms back to where they were, but not necessarily back to where they were because you have moved into a newly heightened consciousness. The energy bodies will be uplifted into new, even higher vibrational energy bodies of Gaia. So the realms and those existing within those realms will have completely shifted as well into higher vibrational energetic bodies. They can take their place in these new higher vibrational realms once the collective on the physical body of Gaia can take their place in their newly higher vibrational reality. They go on to say that any portals to other realms open within you because you are a reflection of Gaia. You are the micro to the macro of Gaia, and everything you hold within is the micro to you. The existence of everything is a continual spiral of micro and macro and macro and micro opening more and more within themselves. When you can understand that shifting where you are within this grander, bigger microcosm and macrocosm shifts the micro and macro within you and outside of you, you can instantly shift into new realities, open into joined realities, and manipulate the existence of not only yourself, but others. They said, let's get back to Avalon. Avalon is a place that exists in a realm close to the Earth's dimension. It opened after the fall of Atlantis and embraced the lost Atlanteans seeking refuge. The fall of Atlantis was the fall from the 12th dimension into the lower 10th dimension. From there, the dimensions continued to fall until where you are currently in the 3rd dimension. However, during the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, the dimensions and frequencies upon your planet were still higher than they are today. So opening into Avalon during the fall, as Atlantis shifted through the dimensions, was not a hard thing to do. Avalon existed at that time somewhere between the 10th and the 12th dimensions, in between dimensions. Lost Atlanteans, in their escape of the falling Atlantis, opened into Avalon and into that realm, not knowing that Avalon was in a different energetic realm. They opened into the realm of Avalon and ended up staying there. Many of them ended up staying there. However, because of the opening of Atlanteans into the realm of Avalon, it ended up lowering the vibration of Avalon. the realms, the energetic bodies of Gaia, all of them began their fall and lowered following the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria as well. So not only did the physical body, the physical dimensions of Gaia lower during or following the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, like they said, the planet fell from the 12th dimension down to where we are in the 3rd dimension, but the energetic bodies of Gaia also fell from those heightened vibrational states into where we are right now. So that makes sense that Avalon, if it was so close to where Atlantis was at that time, now is more closer to where we are in our existence in the 3rd dimension. They're in between the dimensions, somewhere nearby, closer within reach, because those energetic bodies fell as well. And that's all that I have for this video, because then the information just stopped, and Abe said that they won't continue to give me information until I post the first 2 videos of this series of the 4 realms of Gaia and opening into magic. So I'm posting these first 2 videos, and we'll see how things begin to unfold, and in terms of bringing forward more information about the 4 realms of Gaia, and more about Avalon, and even more about these different realms. If you want to dive deeper, we're diving deeper over on Patreon as well as Facebook. We're addressing your comments and your questions. We're doing mini Abe readings over there, light language transmissions, soul group messages, and in April we're going to start doing full and new moon gatherings to really amp up your intentions and manifestations and clear and release things that no longer serve you, so that you can begin opening up more on your ascension path and opening and retrieving your own inner lost knowledge. I'll post the links to both Patreon and Facebook below in the description. Again, if you want to read along or get the transcript for this video, I am also posting the blog link below where I have the transcript all written out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to the information that comes through in the next part of this video series, the 4 realms of Gaia and opening to magic. Thank you so much. In oneness we are Abe. Oneness and love be with you.